Hello everyone. In this video, let's discuss about what we can expect next week, a week ahead video for October 5th week 2025 for the Indian stock market in terms of Nifty and Bank Nifty. Last week was a special week. We had only 3 full trading days because of Diwali holiday. Despite that, Nifty closed positive for the 4th consecutive week and it is the first time in 2025. Increased 0.3% and Sensex also increased similar percentage, whereas mid cap and small cap outperformed both the main index. And if you see last week performance, Nifty managed to cross the 26,000 mark after a gap of near 1 year, which is very good. But however, it could not sustain above that level. Profit booking reduced it below 25,800. I mean, in 2025, in the last 10 months, there were multiple occasions like 9 to 10 times Nifty managed to cross above 25,000, but in all those occasions, it failed to close about 26,000. Hence, 26,000 mark is the huge resistance and closing above 26,000 is the huge psychological boost. Then about institution wise, in the cash market, both FII and DII were net buyers. FII is net bought for approximately 350 crore rupees on weekly basis, which then translates on an average for every session the net bought for just 86 crore rupees, which is very minimal amount. However, the important thing is this is the third consecutive week FIIs were net buyers, so sentiment wise it's positive. Then moving to DII, they net bought for near 6,000 crore rupees on weekly basis. So on an average, they net bought for 1,500 crore rupees each session, which is very comparable to their usual average. So both being net buyers is also very positive. Next, earnings. Last week, 3 index heavyweight stocks, Reliance, HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank released their quarterly results and all 3 results were mixed to positive, which we already discussed in detail in our daily pre-market video. In addition to that, other major companies like Axis Bank, Hindustan Unilever, Persistent Systems, JSW Steel, IDFC First Bank, Polycab all reported strong results. So overall, the earnings from index heavyweights have been good, and this is also one of the main reason why market is positive. Now, this coming week, over 300 companies are scheduled to release their earnings results. Very small large cap, but most mid and small cap companies. So, in addition to results, their management's insights regarding future prospects, everything expects to be the major driving factor for the market this upcoming week. Then the second important thing, crude oil prices increased near 8% last week. All thanks to US sanctions against Russian oil companies, and there were media reports indicating that Chinese and Indian oil firms have halted oil purchases from Russia. So if this trend continues means then it might influence negatively on the Indian inflation and thus on the Indian market. Hence, look out for any potential development. Then third, market continues to speculate over the India-US trade deal, but no definitive outcomes have been reported so far. However, this week is all about US-China trade deal. Since on Thursday, October 30th, US President Donald Trump is going to meet Chinese President Xi Jinping in the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit. This is very important. I mean, last time Trump met Chinese President Xi Jinping was all the way back in 2019. So after 6 years, they are meeting. And the developments of the talks will be very important for whole global market risk sentiment because the trade tariff pause agreement between US and China expires on November 10th, and Trump also has set a November 1st date for imposing additional 100% tariff on China. So potentially if both the leaders Trump and Xi having any positive discussion or any announcement regarding the trade deal expects to influence the global momentum positively, which in turn will influence our Indian market positive. But if Trump made any post or any interview in offense against China, or if the meeting didn't go well, then immediately that positive sentiment will fizzle out. So in short, as we discussed, for now, we need to keep our eyes open for any potential development from this Trump-Xi meeting. It could be positive or negative. Then fourth, very important from the macro perspective, US Fed interest rate decision is due on Wednesday, October 29th. At present, market is expecting the 25 basis point rate cut, and all global market adjusted their prices already for this 25 basis point rate cut. So if Fed didn't do means it might destroy the global positive momentum. However, here is the problem. US government shutdown is still going on, and because of that, monthly employment data hasn't been published since early September, which was before the Fed's last cut. So Fed has less information to go on than usual, as employment is the main worry for them. But on the positive side, with other indicators like inflation is softening, so at present market price adjusted on the expectation of rate cut in this Wednesday as well as the next meeting in December. So if Fed chairman gave any signal like he's not going to perform the rate cut in the next December means, then again it's negative for the global momentum. And in addition, on Friday, October 31st, US September month PC inflation data is due to release. Even though it's delayed because of the government shutdown, they will release it on Friday in order to calculate annual social security rises. So if US inflation comes higher, then again the rate cut expectations for December will reduce. So this is also very important macro. Hence, Wednesday's US interest rate decision and Friday's US inflation data are the two key macro things to watch this upcoming week, which expects to influence the Indian market and global momentum. So, in summary, four things are to drive the market this upcoming week. First, over 300 companies' earnings results. Second, crude oil price movement. Third, Trump-Xi meeting outcome. Fourth, US interest rate decision and US inflation data. Anyway, now let us see day by day what to expect in terms of earnings and macros. Starting from Monday, October 27th, earnings-wise, IOC, Adani Energy Solutions, PNB Housing Finance are scheduled to release their results. Macro-wise, I don't think that any major macro is scheduled to release that could influence our market. Moving to Tuesday, October 28th, earnings-wise, TVS Motor, Adani Green Energy, Tata Capital, Shree Cements, and Adani Total Gas are the companies scheduled to release their results. Macro-wise, during our market time, India's September month IIP data is due to release. In August month, IIP expanded by 4% year-on-year, which was slightly down from 4.3% in July month, and market was expecting 5% increase. So for September month, market is expecting it to come around 3.8% year-on-year, which is further moderation. If IIP comes lower than expected means, then it will raise concerns about the manufacturing sector and economic growth. So this is important. Coming to Wednesday, October 29th, earnings-wise, L&T, Coal India, HPCL, United Breweries, LIC Housing Finance and Transport Corporation of India are scheduled to release their results. So we could say capital goods, PSU and financial services sector will be on focus. Macro-wise, in the night, US Fed interest rate decision is due. As we discussed multiple times, market is fully expecting 25 basis point rate cut and Fed chairman's statement on inflation and future interest rate cut. So, potential short covering or profit booking could happen based on the Fed chairman's commentary, and it expects to influence the Indian market on the following day, Thursday morning. In addition, Bank of Japan's interest rate decision is also due in the night. Market is expecting Bank of Japan to keep the rate unchanged at 0.5%. So as long as no surprise, we don't need to worry about that. Then coming to Thursday, October 30th, earnings-wise, ITC, Pidilite Industries, Cipla, Canara Bank, Union Bank of India, United Spirits, Dauber India, Emphasis and Bandhan Bank are some of the companies scheduled to release their results. So, FMCG, banking, pharma sectors all will be on focus. If ITC and Dauber shows strong consumption revival like HUL, then we could expect the entire FMCG sector to rally. And in the morning, our Indian market might react to previous night's US interest rate decision and Fed chairman's commentary. And more importantly, during the day, Trump-Xi meeting is scheduled on the sidelines of APEC summit. As we discussed, this is very important meeting after 6 years. So any positive or negative development from this meeting expects to influence the global momentum and our Indian market. In addition, in the afternoon, UK interest rate decision is due. Market is expecting Bank of England to keep the rate unchanged at 4%. So as long as no surprise, we don't need to worry about that. And in the night for US, weekly jobs data is scheduled. Finally, for Friday, October 31st, earnings wise, Maruti Suzuki, Bharat Electronics, Shriram Finance, ACC, and Equita Small Finance Bank are the companies scheduled to release their results. So, auto and financial services sector will be on focus. Macro wise, during our market time, India's October month fiscal deficit data and bi-weekly bank loan and deposit growth data are due to release. And more importantly, in the night for US, their September month PC inflation data is due to release. As we discussed, this is a delayed data because of the government shutdown, but they will release it on Friday. Market is expecting 0.3% month-on-month increase, same as August month. In addition, Japan's September month retail sales data is also due in the morning, so that will influence the Asian market, which in turn expects to influence our Indian market. And finally, on Saturday, November 1st, Dr. Reddy's Lab, SBI Life Insurance, SBI Cards, Coforge, and ITC Hotels are scheduled to announce their results. Here, just repeating the important things. Tuesday, India's IIP data. Wednesday, US industry decision. Thursday, Trump Z meeting. And Friday, US PCE inflation data. These are the important major macros expects to influence the Indian market this upcoming October 5th week. So that's all in this video. Hope you got some useful information. Please consider subscribing the channel and liking the video so that it will help me beat the YouTube algorithm and also motivate me to do more. Please don't make any investigation based on this, as I'm not a SEBI registered advisor. I'm doing this for me and viewers educational purpose only. Thanks for watching.